Have you ever just stopped right in the middle of a task, looked at the glowing screen in front of you and thought, wait, did I use the tool or did the tool use me? It's honestly a defining question of our time. Right now, students, professionals, lifelong learners, we are all balancing on this incredibly thin hedge. On one hand, we've got the most powerful AI tools in human history literally ready to do our heavy lifting. But on the other hand, we have our own real, undeniable skill development. Getting this balance right is absolutely crucial. And, as a hiring manager who interviews dozens of candidates every single week, I actually see the fallout of this dilemma every single day.
So, welcome to today's Explainer. We are looking at the illusion of mastery, rebuilding the mind in an AI world. Today, I really want to share the fascinating story of an unforgettable candidate who sat right across my desk, a young, ambitious guy named Zan. It's a story about how he kind of lost his mind to the extreme convenience of technology and the exact blueprint of how he fought to get it back. Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, the trap of convenience. So Zayan lived in a modern city, just totally surrounded by glowing screens. He was a really smart, highly ambitious student, so when these new AI tools popped up, he put them to work immediately. And the results? Staggering. AI wrote his papers, managed his crazy schedule, created these intricate designs, and answered his most complex questions in literally seconds. Honestly, if he could have used it to chew his food or text a simple hello to his own mom, he probably would have. Very quickly, he gained this online reputation as a total productivity machine. People would look at his output and ask, "No way, how do you do so much?" And he would just smile and say, "I let technology do the hard work." Now, at first glance, that looks like pure efficiency, right? But slowly, almost imperceptibly, it morphed into something much more dangerous. It stopped being a helpful tool and started becoming a total replacement for his own cognitive effort. He stopped thinking deeply. He stopped reading carefully. Whenever he hit a roadblock, he just outsourced the entire problem to the machine. Which brings us right to Section 2, the reality check. Now, what's really interesting about this is the massive, dangerous gap between perception and reality. On the outside, Zayan had this glowing external reputation. He was the absolute picture of modern productivity. But his inside reality? His own internal skills were actively weakening, while his dependence on the machine was just growing stronger and stronger. He didn't even notice it because, the external praise just kept rolling in. But I see this all the time in my line of work. An untested mind is a fragile mind. The real breaking point came when I invited Zayan into my office for an interview at our rapidly growing company. He confidently walked in holding this incredibly impressive resume, totally built on the back of his AI assistants. But I wasn't interested in his tools. I looked him dead in the eye and delivered a massive reality check. I said, "We know you use powerful tools. That is good. But today, we want to know how you think." In that single moment, I essentially stripped away his entire digital safety net. I needed to see the actual human intellect behind the digital curtain. The rules suddenly felt terrifying for him. No internet, no AI, no shortcuts, just him and me. I watched him completely freeze. Problems that really should have been simple suddenly overwhelmed him. His mind frantically searched for help that just wasn't there. Sitting in that chair, he was empty. He basically had nothing of his own to offer, and he left my office feeling deeply embarrassed. But here is exactly where the story turns around. Section 3, rebuilding the mind. Years later, Zayan actually told me what happened after he left my office that day. That evening, he walked through the city in total silence. Everywhere he looked, he just saw screens answering all of humanity's questions. When he got home, he almost fell right back into his old habit of asking the AI for advice on how to feel better. But he stopped. He physically closed the laptop, he pulled out an actual physical notebook, and with his own hand wrote down a declaration. I must rebuild myself. The very next morning, Zayan radically changed his daily habits, breaking it down into 4 distinct steps. Step 1, he didn't abandon tech altogether, but he used it with strict limits. Step 2, when faced with a problem, he forced himself to try and solve it by himself first, before even thinking about asking machine. Step 3, he went back to deep study, returning to reading actual books to rebuild his attention span. And finally, Step 4, he actively trained his focus. Through genuine, patient effort, Zayan shifted from just renting his skills from AI to truly owning them. Basically, he learned to use AI to support his effort, not replace it. He told me it was kind of like being a gardener. Before, he just passively waited for the rain of AI to water his plants. If it didn't rain, everything died. But through this rebuilding process, he put in the hard work to build his own irrigation system. He took control of his own intellect so he could thrive in any condition at all. As the months passed, his mind grew sharper. True, hard-earned confidence and a deep sense of peace finally returned.
Let's move to our final section and see how this builds into some core takeaways for your own life and studies. Section 4, Lessons for the Future.
From watching Zan's journey, I always give students who are balancing study with technology these 7 critical lessons. Number 1, tools should assist, not replace your thinking. Number 2, beware of convenience, because it can rapidly weaken your discipline. Number 3, real skill is the absolute only thing that creates lasting confidence. Number 4, technology is incredibly powerful, but only when it's guided by human wisdom. 5, shortcuts can easily become traps. 6, there is literally no hack for human growth. It requires genuine effort, patience, and focus. And finally, number 7, the future ultimately belongs to active learners, not passive dependents.
When Zion finally came back to interview with me a whole year later, he was a completely different person. He didn't freeze, he answered clearly, straight from his own intellect, and he totally aced it. Obviously, I hired him on the spot. He actually later became a mentor here, always telling the younger hires, technology can multiply your ability, but only if ability exists first. So the crucial point is, 0 multiplied by 1,000,000 is still just 0. You absolutely must use tools to save time, but never ever let them steal your mind.
I want to leave you with one final provocative question to really chew on today. Look inward and ask yourself honestly, if the internet went down today, what skills would you still own? Not rent, not borrow, own. The strongest future belongs to those who don't just lean on innovation, but who combine it with their own hard-earned wisdom. Keep building your mind, keep doing the hard work, and I will see you in the next explainer.